not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
In this analysis, we take a closer look at the movie poster for Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. The poster effectively captures the film's dark and intense tone through its visuals, highlighting key themes like destruction, science, and moral conflict. We will explore how the design elements reflect the story and the character of J. Robert Oppenheimer. First is the classification of codes. For the symbolic code, the poster uses powerful symbolism to communicate deeper meanings. The explosion symbolizes not only destruction and immense power, but also the uncontainable force of human innovation. The swirling flames around Oppenheimer's body suggest that the power he helped unleash is both out of control and ever-present. The color scheme reds, oranges, and blacks evokes intense heat, urgency, and danger, and irreversible transformation. The fiery colors allude to nuclear detonation and hellish consequences, while the black tones convey a grim, irreversible outcome. For the positioning, Oppenheimer is framed dead center, making him the literal and metaphorical core of the blast. It suggests that he is both the cause and the consequence of the chaos. He is the nucleus of the story and the nuclear age. The circular frame in the background may represent a cyclotron, bomb core, or even a clock, symbolizing the relentless ticking of time leading to an irreversible event. It's a visual metaphor for the inescapability of consequence. Everything is rotating around the action he helped trigger. The sparks and flying debris symbolize not only destruction but also fragmentation, a once stable reality now shattered. It reflects how the world and Oppenheimer himself was forever changed by the detonation of the atomic bomb. The fiery background could be seen as a representation of hell, hinting at the moral and existential weight of creating a weapon that could annihilate humanity. It connects to the famous quote attributed to Oppenheimer, "Now I am become death and the destroyer of worlds." The absence of other figures emphasizes isolation and responsibility. Despite the collaborative nature of the Manhattan Project, the poster suggests that Oppenheimer alone bears the soul of the outcome. The desaturated skin tone and shadowed face his face is partially in shadow, symbolizing the duality of man, a brilliant mind capable of both creation and destruction. It also hints at guilt, secrecy, and the moral ambiguity of scientific advancement. For the written code, the title placement Oppenheimer, the name is placed centrally near the bottom, directly beneath the main figure. This reinforces the connection between identity and consequence. Everything in the poster and the film's message revolves around him. It's not just about a person, it's about the weight that name carries in history. The typeface and typography. The bold, all-caps, sans serif font is stark and minimalist. This kind of typeface is often used in military documents or historical files, subtly evoking the classified nature of the Manhattan Project. The clean and geometric look of the font mirrors the precision of science, while its lack of ornamentation suggests the emotional coldness and detachment sometimes required in war and science. The color of the title. The title contrasts sharply against the dark, fiery background. This makes it visually unmissable, symbolizing clarity and exposure, the unveiling of truths, secrets, or personal reckonings. The absence of a tagline. The omission of tagline suggests finality and gravity. The name Oppenheimer alone is meant to evoke curiosity, controversy, and significance. It signals that the film is not just about a story, but a deep character study with historical implications. Details like shot with IMAX film cameras are emphasized, which appeals to an audience that values technical excellence and cinematic immersion. It also aligns with the theme of scientific and technological advancement, paralleling to the meticulous design of both the bomb and the film.
For the denotative meaning of this poster entitled Oppenheimer, we will be dissecting the literal visuals that are shown. First, we see a man standing in the center, dressed in a brown suit and fedora hat. Behind him is a large complex machine surrounded by wires and glowing orange light, almost like an explosion. Next was sparks, flames, and smoke filled the background. At the top, we see the names of well-known actors, Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., and Florence Pugh. The title Oppenheimer is boldly printed at the bottom with the release date of July 21, 2023. It also states that the film was shot in the IMAX film cameras and directed by Christopher Nolan. Going on to the latter part, which is the connotative meaning, in here we will be having our interpretation of the poster with depth and further comprehension. First, the man in the center played by Cillian Murphy is likely J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. His serious expression and strong shadowing hint at the moral weight of his role in history. The swirling fiery background evokes destruction, chaos, and power, symbolizing the atomic bomb creation and the devastation it brought. The intricate machine behind him may represent the bomb itself or the scientific complexity of the Manhattan Project. The warm orange and red tones are reminiscent of fire and explosions, connoting danger, urgency, and irreversible impact. His classic attire suggests its setting in the 1940s, anchoring the historical context. Overall, the poster doesn't just advertise the film, it foreshadows a gripping, intense story of science, war, ethics, and consequence.
I will be analyzing the Oppenheimer poster using technical tools, visual elements that filmmakers use to communicate meaning beyond words. Let's start with light. This poster uses intense backlight, which creates a dramatic silhouette on Oppenheimer. The glow behind him mimics an explosion, reinforcing the theme of nuclear power. The fiery tones, reds, oranges, and yellows suggest danger, urgency, and destruction. Next, we look at frame. Oppenheimer is perfectly centered, which draws all attention to him. The background machinery forms a circular shape around him, creating a sense of focus and balance. It subtly symbolizes that he's at the core of something powerful and catastrophic. On to scale and proportion, notice how Oppenheimer is shown large and upright, dominating the poster. Behind him is an oversized depiction of a bomb mechanism. This scale exaggeration shows the massive consequences of his actions and inventions. The color scheme sticks to warm, glowing tones, representing not only the heat of an explosion, but also the moral heat, the weight and pressure of the decisions he made. His dark suit contrasts sharply with the fiery background, giving him a mysterious and serious presence. Typography also plays a role. The word Oppenheimer is in bold, clean, sans-serif font, all caps, showing strength and clarity. The white text pops against the orange background, making sure the title and release date are both eye-catching and readable. Finally, look at the visual effects. Sparks, wires, and glowing particles swirl around him, adding energy and motion to an otherwise still image. It gives a feeling of tension and scientific complexity, like something is about to explode.
For the signifier and signified, there is the explosion. Its signifier, it's a massive explosion in the background, a huge bomb and the fiery smoke. It signified that this is just an explosion. It represents the atomic bomb, which stands as a symbol of destruction, scientific advancement, and humanity's ability to unleash irreversible power. It also shows us how powerful science can be, but also how dangerous, and it highlights the historical impact of nuclear technology. For the second one, the lone or the man figure, Its signifier, a man in front of the explosion. He's wearing a suit and wearing a hat. It signified that this is Oppenheimer, the man in front of the bomb. It symbolized the burdened scientist. His posture feels heavy and it represents the emotional and moral burden he carried for what he had built. It is not just about science because it's also about guilt, consequence, and being human. For the third one, the fiery color scheme, the red, orange, and black. Its signifier, the whole poster is drenched in reds, oranges, and dark shadows. It signified that these colors make us feel tension right away. The red and orange symbolizes fire, explosions, and danger, while the black creates a feeling of seriousness and death. Emotionally, it put us on edge. It tells us that this is just an story. It's a warning. It's intense and heavy, just like the whole mystery behind it. For the fourth and last, the bold minimalist title, Oppenheimer. Its signifier, the word Oppenheimer, is written in bold, thin letters at the bottom. It signified simplicity symbolizes seriousness and importance. It tells us that this story is about one man, but one man who changed the world. The plain font contrasts with the pausa behind it, almost like he's trying to stay composed while everything around him is on fire. And it also showed that this movie isn't just about action. It's about a man's identity, his role in history, and how heavy that name must feel.
In summary, every element, from lighting and framing to scale and color, works together to show Oppenheimer as a man, and also as the monster that he became. After the creation of his atomic bomb, he said, "Now I have become death, destroyer of worlds."